Hey, what's up everybody? This is Luca and today I will tell you 5 pros and 5 cons to be a musician on a cruise ship. What's up everybody? This is Luca. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you didn't already, please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I'm a guitar player and as I mentioned in my previous video, I will link it like here, somewhere here on the screen. I mentioned that I was playing in a cruise ship, so I thought that maybe some of you guys will be interested in this world, so I wanted to talk to you about that. I've been playing on cruise ship for a long time. I started on 2013 and I completed 7 contracts. I worked for different companies, so I think I have pretty much a clear idea of what cruise ship life is. So pro number 1, money. It depends on the company, but generally money is good. So it depends on the company, it depends on your position, but average the wage can vary from $2,000 to $4,000 more or less if you're a musician. Plus you don't have to pay almost anything on board. It's just like if you want to drink alcohol in the crew bar, that's on you. You have to pay for that, of course, but free meals, free accommodation, and you can almost like have 0 expenses, and then you can save a lot of money while you're working on ships. So that's a big pro. The second pro I want to talk to you about is traveling. So yeah guys, you can travel all around the world. Personally, I've been in the Mediterranean, I've been on the Caribbean, I've been in the United States, Miami, California, to Mexico, I've been to Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, a lot of different places. And actually, if I had to pay for my own flight and my own accommodation, it would have been really expensive. So that's really a plus one. If you're really into traveling, that's amazing. Then compared to other positions on board, as a musician you have way more time off during the day, because you will pretty much play just during night times, except sometimes you have to play during the noon times, but it's pretty much just like during night time. So if the ship will dock, for example, at 7 in the morning, you can get off the ship at 8 or 9 a.m. if you're really like really an early bird. I'm not though. And then you can stay outside until 1 hour before the ship sails, more or less. So yeah, you have plenty of time to travel and to visit places, and that's a big plus. The third pro I want to talk to you about, guys, is playing every day. So I remember when I graduated from conservatory here in Italy, I wanted to play consistently, because I've been for my whole life as a musician, I was really into practice and studying, and but the real practice, I think, it will come on a stage. So I really wanted to have the chance to practice in a different way, to practice on a stage, to actually see if what I was practicing on my studio or in my bedroom at that time, it was good enough, it was practicing good enough. Because I think that just when you have to play in front of a real audience, then you know if your practice is good or not. So yeah, you will have to play every day consistently for, let's say, an average of 2 to 4 sets per day, sets of 45 minutes per day. That varies again with companies and contracts and ships, can vary a little bit, but that's the average. You have to be able to play on different styles of music, and that's what I wanted at the time, because it's really important to be able to play different kind of music, especially for different kind of crowd. For me, as an Italian, I was really wondering if my skills were good enough for a different crowd, for Americans, for British people, because for me it was like, oh my god, if I have to play rock and roll for Americans, I was like, wow, the rock and roll was invented in America, so maybe they will have higher expectation. So for me, it was really exciting, to play for a different crowd, and yeah, for me that's a big plus, because it will force you to practice hard and to get into different genres of music that you have to perform and maybe you're not used to. So you will get out a little bit of your comfort zone, but then you can discover really nice songs and nuances that maybe you didn't know before. So yeah, that for me is a big pro. So the fourth pro for me is meeting new people from all over the world. For me, again, as an Italian, we don't have much of a chance to speak different languages and to meet people outside of Italy. So for me, it was a big game changer of my life. Like, my brain literally opened up to a different array of cultures and languages. My English improved a lot. I learned Spanish as well, and then on my last contract I was trying to learn Portuguese and a little bit of Japanese as well. Your social skill will improve because you have to deal with people that are not from your country, different culture, and that's really amazing. So you will be more international as a person. And I don't know how to explain this, but every time I came back after a contract on a cruise ship, I started to do something a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Like, for example, now I started this YouTube channel because I think that you will start to see that the world is big and small at the same time, and then you can reach a lot of different people that you didn't know. Like, if you're just stuck in the same city, in the same town for all your life, you don't really know what's outside. But once you open your mind and you start to notice that, oh my god, there's a lot of people out there, you want to produce content, you want to do something because you know that some people there that maybe are interested in what you're gonna say, that are interested in what's your life. And I think it's a big pro for a musician, because honestly I think that you have to put your content, your music outside, like in the world. And I think the cruise ship is like a training to make you do that. Okay, the fifth pro, it's stability. So what do I mean? This is related a little bit to the money, to the first pro. You can actually make a career on a cruise ship. So for a musician, it's really hard to have a consistent amount of money every month, right? Because we don't know when we have a gig, or if next year we will have the same gig. But with cruise ship, if you like this kind of life, it's really easier. If your appraisal is good, it's easy to get another contract, and then another one, and then another one. So you can consistently make money for a period of your life, of your entire life if you want. So this is, for me, was my fifth pro. Okay, so now let's talk about the cons. So con number one, guest first. What do I mean by that? Well, you represent the company. So you will have your name badge, you have to dress smartly, and you are working all the time. As long as you are in passenger area, you represent the company. So you have to be let the passenger go first if they have to eat. Maybe sometimes you can't go eat at the buffet, so you have to respect certain schedule. As a crew member, you can have some privileges, so you are allowed to use passenger areas facilities, but just in certain hours. You have to respect a certain schedule. So maybe that would be annoying for you if you'd like a free spirit and you don't really like rules. Maybe this job is not for you. Con number two, sharing cabins. Okay, that's the big thing. You will not have your single cabin. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, you can. It happened to me once, but usually that's not a thing. So if you are in your 20s, that's maybe fine, it's more like a college kind of life and it's fine. But once you grew up, you maybe would like to have more privacy, and cabins, crew cabins are small, they're not so big. So that can be an issue if you have like a roommate that it's not really clean, it's not really tidy, that can be an issue. If you're a member of a party band, you can share a cabin with one of your bandmates, and that's better. But sometimes can happen if you're playing in the orchestra, if you're a solo musician, can happen that you have to share a cabin with a person that you don't know. Maybe you can be lucky, or maybe your roommate will be terrible. So yeah, that's for me a big con. So con number 3, homesickness. Well, you have to be on board for a long time. Contracts can vary from 1 month if you're maybe a solo musician, but if you're in a party band, if you go playing in a cruise ship as a whole band, your contracts are average 4 months. So that's a kind of a long time. So if you are the kind of a person that you're really attached to your family, you have deep roots, you really like the place where you live and you don't really like to travel, yeah, you have to think about it, because you have to be away from home for a lot of time. And especially if you have family, if you have kids, if you have a wife, or even if you have just a relationship, that will be hard. So if you're like a home person, I wouldn't suggest to you to go work on a cruise ship, because you will be away from your home for a long time. So con number 4, relationships. Well, this is related a little bit to the previous one. So if you start to work on a cruise ship, it's really easy to start dating someone on board. I'm talking about crew, of course, because passengers, out of bound. No, you can't even touch them, okay? So forget about it. But crew members on board are a lot. The crew members number is like 1,000 crew members on a cruise ship. So, there's a lot of people. If you spend time in the crew bar, it's easy to start to have a relationship with someone. These relationships are kind of strong and really intense. If you want to continue this relationship, it may be hard, because the company can't guarantee that you will go in the next ship together. They are trying to do that if you ask for, but it's not guaranteed. So that's a big con, especially when you grow up. Maybe you want to settle down, you want to have something more serious, and so maybe that's not the best thing. But if you're in your 20s and you have, you are more of a free spirit, thumbs up. Con number 5, last con, is equipment. So as a musician, you want to provide the best quality sound that you can. And usually in the lounges there are really nice PAs, okay? The companies usually spend a lot of money on PAs. On my last ship, the PA was really amazing. And when the technician wanted to, pump up the volume a little bit, it was really like, wow, that's a great live performance. So it was amazing. But unfortunately, especially as a guitar player, sometimes the guitar amplifier, they're not that great, and maybe sometimes they're old, and in order to get replacements like tube replacements or stuff like that, since you're on a boat, it's not really easy. So you have to be aware of that, and if you want, you can carry your own amplifier, but since you have to fly, well, I don't know if that would be a great idea. Also, speaking about from a guitar player point of view, traveling with more than one guitar, it's hard. You can do that. I had like a double gig bag, but sometimes, like in my last contract, I wanted just to bring one guitar because it's easier to travel and easier to go from your cabin to the lounges and moving all around the ship because it's more lightweight. So my last 2 contracts, I brought this guitar, and this is like an EVH striped series. I did a little bit of modifications, a little bit of mods, because I think you know that the original model just have one pickup, and since I had to play different styles of music, I needed more. So I installed DiMarzio Super Distortion here, and DiMarzio single coil, I think it's like a SL1, something like that, and a DiMarzio PAF Pro, like PAF Pro, and a 5-way selector switch and a tone control. So I could play even like jazz tunes with this guitar, and I really had great time with this guitar. So I suggest to you, if you have to bring just one guitar, bring one that, you know, that's really versatile. You can play a lot of different kind of music, and also if it looks cool, that's a plus. To solve the problem of amplifiers and stuff like that, I was used to travel with my pedal board that was kind of big and heavy. I said, well, you know, I'm tired of this, and so I bought one of these, the Moa GE200, one of the best purchases that I've made, because this thing is kind of cheap. It's like around 300 bucks, and the sound quality is just fine. Also, another thing that I want to mention about the equipment, sometimes you have to play outside in the open deck, and trust me, the sea salt is terrible. For electronics, really awful, so I had to bring this guitar to my guitar techs, because like the pickup switching was not working anymore because of the corrosion. And so some pedals that I have also, they have problems with the switches, and yeah, and the company will not refund you. They actually say that you should make an insurance for your instruments. I never did because I am lazy. So I think this is a really important point. Like, if you have to work on a cruise ship, don't bring your best guitar, your best PRS private stock, like 10,000 bucks, because it can happen that, especially if you play in a party band, you have to play outside, and that's really the worst. If you are playing in the orchestra, in the house band, maybe you should just play inside, and so you can bring your best guitar, but it's up on you. For me, I'm fine to have like nice instruments that are not crazy expensive, but that can deliver great sound. If you have the chance to apply for a cruise ship gig, go for it. It's really a massive experience. As I said, like, I think that ultimately the pros are more than the cons. Even if I said 5 and 5, but I think that like the entity of the pros are bigger, and then you can try. If you don't like it, you can just stop doing it. But yeah, I would suggest to any musician, especially if you didn't travel a lot, if you're stuck in your hometown and you really would like to play every day for a different crowd than the usual one, yeah, it will be a game changer maybe for your life. So I suggest you guys to try. So you guys, if you have any question about it, please don't hesitate to comment just down below. I will be really happy to answer to any question. So please do it and don't be shy. So guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you like it. As I said before, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. If you want to check my other videos, if you want to learn something about playing a lot of notes, check out my other videos on Ingve Malmsteen and other stuff like that. So thank you very much again, guys, and see you later.